Hi, welcome to the Rapid Profit Booster Summit. I'm Stacey Hylen, your host for the summit. I am a business coach, author, speaker, and I help business owners add an extra zero to their business without the hustle. And that's what this summit is all about, of how you can add profits to your business quickly and easily. We're not talking about strategies that take 6 months or a year to implement. These are things that are quick that you can do this week, this month, and increase your sales quickly. We're going to be focusing on 3 key areas that you need. First of all, the mindset. As a former Tony Robbins coach and vice president of consulting, I know how important that mindset is to help you get your business growing and to make that switch to say, you know what, I can grow my profits now, no matter what the economy is doing. Then we're going to be delving into marketing and what you can be doing to separate yourself from the competition and get leads right now. And then the third area is sales. How, once you get that lead in the door, what can you do to convert more leads to clients? So we have business owners that I'm interviewing that have multi-million-dollar businesses, and they are going to be sharing their best strategies with you. So listen in. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. Take notes, and more importantly, take action. Welcome everybody to Rapid Profit Boosters. I am so excited for our guest today because, everybody's always giving excuses. They don't have enough time. They don't have enough energy and all of that. And Yael is going to put a stop to all of that in just 20 minutes. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is a marketing and visibility coach for female entrepreneurs who want to create consistently growing income with a simple sales system. Now, she grew from 0 to 6 figures within 18 months and has generated between 3 to 6 times ROI for her clients' marketing campaigns. And, it's about creating what works for her clients, not the other way around. She's been featured in Forbes, Funnel Magazine, Self, Influensive, and a guest on tons of podcasts. And she's a New York expat living in Israel with her husband, 4 sons, and a baby daughter. So we are going to talk. Welcome, Yael. I'm so excited to have you here because you're going to put that to rest of how can you make a full-time income as a mom, as somebody that's busy. So let's do it.
All right. So I like to call myself the excuse buster because whatever people say, oh, but I have this. I'm like, okay, but, so hi. So thank you so much for having me here. So I'll just give you a quick, 2-minute snippet of how I got from there to here. I started off as a stay-at-home mom, high school dropout, didn't go to college. So literally zero. I did not go to business school or marketing school or any sort of degree, nothing. And I worked my way up from being a VA to doing marketing as a VA and then moving into higher level marketing stuff. And when I realized that I enjoyed the coaching side a lot, so I decided to transition more into doing that. So I also found it worked better with my business, with my business, with my lifestyle, with my kids, as far as deadlines are concerned. So I still occasionally will take on done for you clients if I really, really like them. But for now, it's pretty much just coaching. And what I at the beginning of this year, I was actually about a year. Oh my gosh, about a year ago, I was about to get pregnant. I did not know. And I was about to go to the States. I found out that I was pregnant with my baby, who's 3 months old now. So I found out I was pregnant with her literally the day before I flew to the States for a mastermind. Yeah. And I was because I was excited. I wanted more kids, right? Some people thought I was crazy. They're like, you already have 4 kids. How many more do you want already? But I still wanted more. And I was excited about it, but I was also a little apprehensive because I was saying, okay, I've never done the business thing with a baby this young, and I started my business when my youngest, my former youngest was about a year old. So he was sleeping through the night. He had naps. Life was relatively normal-ish, for a mom of little kids. And so I was kind of really nervous about it. And I actually justifiably so, because my first trimester was very, very difficult. Besides the actual physical symptoms, which were very difficult for me. I also had anxiety and depression, which was diagnosed towards the end, of my first trimester. So when I finally like came out of that and I was like, okay, I'm ready to like get back into things. And I'm like, next 6 months, things are going to be great. We're going to like go all in. And then COVID happened. So that was like, I was like, okay. I ended up pivoting a bunch of things I was selling. I was going to launch one thing. I ended up launching something completely different, which I thought was more suited to the times. And essentially my motto is show up and sell every day in some way, shape, or form. Yes. And people don't like, especially women don't like the sound of sell. Hold on a minute. Yes, unmuted. Okay. So, what I like to basically say is, Target doesn't say, oh, well, we had a sale last week, so I guess we'll just close our doors for this week because I don't want to be too salesy, right? We hear that from a lot of women. I don't want to be too salesy. I don't want to be too yucky. I don't want to be too gross. And there's definitely a place for, there is that yucky, gross selling in our industry. It happens all the time. I've gotten on calls with people who really tried to hard sell me with scripts that I could have said by heart. I know these scripts. Everyone knows these scripts, right? And they say, like, if you can tell us the script, then you're not doing a good job. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing if you can tell, and like you can see exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it and why. I just realized that. 1 second. Hold on. So I just realized there's a reflection of himself in the window. Okay. So
my kids love that too. It's like if you can see yourself, it's way more fun, right?
I'm sorry.
All right. So you're saying we need to show up and sell every day? Every day. And don't worry about it as a small business owner. Like that's the first thing is. So how do you know what to sell?
Yeah. So essentially, I always start every month with like deciding what to sell. I like to plan based. I definitely do quarterly planning, but I like to plan based on my month. Like at the beginning of the month, I'll like kind of finalize it. So I'll know like overall my goals will be. So like I'll say, okay, at the beginning of a quarter, I would like to sell 30 people into my group program, right? And then at the beginning of the month, I'll decide, okay, so how am I going to do that, right? Like if I want to sell 30 people, that means 10 people per month on average, So okay, so how am I going to get to that number, right? If I want to serve 30 women this quarter, what will I do to reach that goal? And at that point, that's when I plan out my sales system, which is essentially, what am I selling? What are the questions people have about what I'm selling? What are the things I need them to know about what I'm selling? And what are the things I need them to know whether they buy what I'm selling or not? Okay, because that's I think a lot of people miss that. Is like, yeah, if you're just yelling, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing, yeah, that is a little bit spammy and gross. But if you're saying, here's something that's really important you need to know, here's a belief that you might have held that is wrong, and let me tell you why, and that's how it can change your life, right? And you really, really help like create that like these mini transformations for people through your content, through your videos. Then, I sold women into my group program, which was $3K at the time, without even getting on a sales call, because it was a few DMs back and forth, and I did not get on a sales call with a single one of them, because
that's fantastic,
which is amazing, right? And it was because my content was speaking for itself. And I know a lot of people, there's a lot of yucky stuff going on in the industry. So one of the things is people will friend you and then they immediately invite you to join their group, or they immediately, pitch you on something, right? And someone was talking about that in a group, like, what do you feel about when people do that? When people friend you and then they just add you to a group, or people friend you, or they just say, so what are you working on these days? Which is like the first step into, and do you want to work with me on?
Yeah, exactly.
Things? Or even better, I've had people say so did you know that you could be getting so many more high ticket clients in, and I'm like, have you looked at my profile?
Yeah, no, people are totally not even looking at who they're selling to.
I know. I'm like, just take some time, do the research. At the very least, yes. Have some level of, if you're gonna DM someone, have some level of knowledge about who they are. And but as I say, I friend people all the time, or people friend me. I have probably 400 pending friend requests that I have to go through, and I every few days I add a few. But I think then I to let my content speak for itself. Truly,
I think
people don't do that. People are afraid it won't. People are like, oh, but do I need to sell? And if I don't sell, is it enough? If I sell too much, is it too spammy? But no, if your content is good and solid, and it's helping create those little mini transformations in people's brains, then you don't need to start pitching people in the DMs.
Yeah,
Because
I
they'll come
love
to
that.
you.
Can we share an example? Because I think that is, as you know, I worked with Tony Robbins, and he always says you don't need to have, a whole day to have a transformation or a breakthrough. You can have one very quickly. So I love the fact that instead of thinking, oh, I'm selling and being pushy and spammy or whatever, you're like, I'm helping people have mini transformations through my
Yes.
social media posts, through the emails you send and all of that. So can you give us an example of like what might be a mini transformation that you're helping people shift from here to there?
Yes, for sure. Okay, so one example was in my last launch for my group program. So I posted, if you're buying course after course after course and you're not seeing any major changes in your business, then you don't need any more courses, you need a coach. And I literally had someone be like, oh my God, that's exactly me. I'm the person who keeps buying courses and like things, and things have basically stayed the same. And I've been watching you grow. We started around the same time as well. Now, I've watched you grow and like, I really need a coach and she joined my group program and actually my mastermind, So like, this was like a 2-line post. This was not even like a whole long form. It does not take a super long form post. I'll give you another example, which is really cool. Literally today, I had one of my clients, who has, she has some hesitation on posting on social media. She doesn't really like social media all that much, right? She's like, she has her own beliefs and feelings about it. And I was like, so part of her accountability is to start posting more. And I said, you know what? Post, I'm not gonna say what the post was exactly. It was a quick statement and agree or disagree. Okay? As related to what you did. And she got tons of engagement on that post. She has not posted on her personal profile in weeks, okay? She got tons of engagement on that post, and someone reached out to her to ask her about her services. Okay?
It doesn't have to take, so I think that's another
It does not take a lot.
Long. It doesn't have to be hard.
Right, and it doesn't have to be, I write about one long form post per day, okay? So let's say I have like one long form post, and the rest of them are small snippets, things to make you think, and often those things can be more powerful than the whole long form post. I mean, long form posts are good too. People are like, oh, wow, that's amazing. That's, I never even thought of it that way. And like, and people have joined just from that. One of my group program women said she was like so triggered by me. She's like, I almost like stopped following you because your stuff was just like triggering me. I was like, I felt like you're calling me out every time you posted something. And then she's like, then I realized that means you're exactly who I need.
Right, and program. That's the thing is if you're speaking to your perfect client, then they do feel like that because it's like, they're like, oh, did she just see me? Like, go walk in the fridge and grab like the thing out of the fridge, or did she see me like go put my sweatpants on because I was fed up to wear my jeans? Like, they start to feel like exactly what they're thinking, which can
exactly.
So let's break it down for people. So how are you? Number one, like we said, you're a mom, you have kids, you have a baby. Like, how do you get the content out there? Like, what's your method? And how often and what formats, do you suggest people post?
Yeah. So I've had a bit of a hiatus as far as like my my regularly scheduled programming when I was on my maternity leave, but I'm about to get right back into it. So I concentrate most of my content on my Facebook group. The reason I do this is because I have an email list for sure, and I do send emails to my list. But often those emails are just the same post I put, like the same long form post I posted in my group. I'll send it to my list. Okay. The reason why I focus on my group when I'm thinking about like what content I'm posting is because I can see the people in my group, right? Like those are people I can like click on, see who they are, find out about them. It's a little different with an email list because people sign up. You can't you can start a conversation, I guess, but you can't find out as much about people on your email list as you can in a Facebook group.
Right.
So I can picture the women in my Facebook group. I know who they are. I know who's showing up on my Facebook Lives. I know who's commenting on things. I can see what they're commenting. I get to know them a little bit more. And so when I'm thinking about the content I'm creating, I'll think, okay, what do they need to know? Because then when you keep that front and center in your head, it's so much easier to create content. Right. And I always get ideas. I have an Evernote file that I just dump my ideas in, like, oh, I had this, I had a thought and I'll just throw it in there. And then when I'm creating my content, I'll be like, oh, is this relevant? I'll go through it. Oh, like for inspiration, like, oh, what can I find that's relevant to what I'm selling right now? Right. Because essentially I'll go through, okay, let's say I'm focusing on selling. I have like my mindset boot camp. I did a mindset boot camp a while back. It was really successful. People had amazing transformations from it. And it was like a 5-minute audio a day and like one journal prompt, but it was enough because people had a lot of ahas because of that. And so that whole week I was talking about mindset. So I did a Facebook Live. So I do one Facebook Live in my group a week, approximately. If I'm doing something, a bigger launch, then I'll do more, but generally I'll do one a week. And then my VA will often break that down and turn that into a bunch of long form posts. I have one amazing content VA who she's just like awesome. And she really, really captured my voice like from the get-go, which was incredible. I've tried this with a bunch of other people and they did not. So when I found her, I was like, I love you. I'm keeping you forever. So she'll break it down into like some long form posts. And then I'll add about 3 or 4 more posts per day in my group. So one is just like a basic like engagement post of the day. So it's like, a promo day, or, I have a testimonial Thursday, or like, I think it's toot your horn Thursday, where it's like, if you post a testimonial about yourself, which also allows people to basically promote themselves too. I like giving people opportunity to really, to give them a chance to promote themselves, because that's part of being in a group. That's why you are in Facebook groups often, right? So I want to give them like that place, setting goals, things like that. So that's like one post a day. Then I'll add some sort of engagement question. So whether sometimes they'll just be like a random one, like Coke or Pepsi, and sometimes it'll be more like, I want to do a Facebook Live this week and I have 2 ideas and I can't decide which one do you want, A or B? And then people will be like A or B, right? Or things like that. So it could be, sometimes it's relevant to what I'm selling, sometimes it's completely just like for fun. And then I'll also do a couple more, like I'll do one long form post with a call to action at the end. And then I'll do, generally one short form post, which is like a straight up call to action, like, hey, doors are closing to this and join. And then I'll stick in like those like little like value bombs, those little triggery sort of things that grab people, just the one-liners or two-liners that like I will either pull out of my existing content or something that I thought, I'm like, okay, people need to know this, and I'll just drop it in. So I post between 4 and 5 times a day, generally, not my maternity leave. Like I said, I cut down a little bit, but generally about 4 to 5 times a day in my group. And then I basically take that content and it goes out everywhere else, right? So it'll go to my profile. But I think I post a lot on my profile, and I think a lot of people come to me through my profile, because your profile is essentially what Russell Brunson calls like the attractive character, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you build out that like persona, and people can like really see and get to know you, right? So anyone who comes to my profile knows I love what I do. I'm obsessed with my clients. I'm obsessed with my kids. I love, ridiculous 2020 memes and parenting anything, because if you don't laugh, you're going to cry, right? Especially this year. So, people know that about me. And the funny thing is, even before I had a business, like back in the day when I used to visit my cousins in London, I have a lot of cousins in London. When I used to visit them, they'd be like, we love following you on Facebook because you are so funny. You should be a writer. You should definitely be a writer. And I'm like, it's Facebook. I'm just posting. I post like articles with like funny comments about it, right? But that was enough. And that was like, people like that. People like to be entertained. People also like to see like, what do you find funny? Because if you find funny the same thing that they find funny, they feel that connection with you, right? And so people don't feel that connection with me, and they're not my people, and that's okay.
Right, exactly. We've been able to block a lot of people that we're not feeling the connection with this year.
Yes, I know. I think this year has really outed a lot of people as far as who are your people and who are not.
The people. Yeah. So I love what you said. So you're taking all of this stuff, you're posting it in the Facebook group because you have the people that you can see there. You're then disseminating it through your email, through your profile, and all of this. I love that. So I love the fact too that you said like you do these value bombs. It's like, when you look at your content, the people that are watching, of like, what do people need to learn? What do people need to shift, and create content around that, as opposed to content like, I am so wonderful, like, and just post. I think that's where people say like, oh, I can't sell every day. But what you're saying is it's not about selling every day. It's about really talking to people of where they're at, and then shifting them. The natural solution to what their problem is to move towards working with you. Can you give us an example of one of your clients that has done this and what they've done and their results?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll use an example right now. It's funny because it just came up this week. So it's funny because my clients do like hashtags, like do what Yael says, what would Yael do? And I'm like, just, so one of my clients literally was like, well, who knew? Yael is right. Apparently when you just start getting visible, people want to work with you, because I just got 2 cold leads that came straight off of social media. And she's been posting consistently every day, which she had not been doing before. And people just booked calls in her calendar without her even, she didn't even know who they were. They didn't even speak to her. And it was so funny because she was like, well, of course you're right, but like, you don't want to believe it because it's like, but then that means you have to actually do the work.
Right, right.
But there you go. And the truth is, honestly, it could take me either like a couple hours in the weekend or about 30 minutes a day to create my content. It does not take me a lot of time. It really does not take me a lot of time. And because it can't take me a lot of time. Right. And I used to do like, okay, so first I would do my content creation like first thing in the morning. So that'd be like the first thing I did before I did anything else, I'd create my content. Now I can't because I have my baby, who currently, thank God, sleeps pretty well at night. Just only sleeps the baby carrier during the day. For some reason, she's very, very, very clear on what's a nap and what's nighttime. And so at nighttime, she's like 5 in the crib. During the day, she's like, nah, I like you. And so I'm basically attached to a baby about like 3/4 of the day, and the other quarter I'm dealing with my other kids. So I pretty much work at night these days. So I will create at night the content that I need for the next day. And it really does not take a lot of time. Really, really doesn't. Because when you're starting from like, when you know what you're selling and you know what you have to say, like it just comes out. I can't even explain it. And I don't believe in just waiting for inspiration to strike. That's why I kind of have like that basic framework of, okay, if I know what I'm selling, what do I need people to believe? What do I want people to believe? And, what kind of stories do I have about this? Like, my client stories or just stories about myself in general. Things like that really just, I found stories are super powerful, especially client stories, because people like to see themselves in, as your potential client.
Because this is just right now proving, right? Like multi 6-figure, like, really doing well in your business. Like, you're not, like you said, you're not waiting for inspiration to strike. You're not waiting for everything to go absolutely perfectly, right? It's like,
it's never going to. It's not going to happen.
It's never going to. And if you wait for everything to be perfect, we would never have this interview. Right. And so I just think it's a perfect teaching moment right now. So I love this. People now know what they can do. Like, it's literally like rapid profit booster. You're posting, you're just creating this content that is very simple, but like a little kick in the butt.
Yes, I believe it. I kick in the butt gifts are like my favorite thing ever. I've collected a bunch of them and I use them on my clients all the time. Like I'll throw them in my groups. Like someone's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, I'll be like, because they know. But can I add one more thing? Because
Sure.
It's funny because I just was thinking about this today. This quote came back to me. I'm paraphrasing my mom a little bit, but I love this quote as every act of self-discipline is an act of self-esteem. And I really love that because my mom used to use it in regards to dieting. But, if you really love yourself, you will have enough love for yourself to be disciplined enough to not eat that piece of cake, right? Or whatever it is. But it also works for business, right? If you really, really love yourself and you believe in yourself, then you will have the discipline to sit down and put that content out if you need to. Right?
And the fact that you believe in your product, and the fact that you believe, the fact that you also believe that the transformation is possible for these clients or these people that are out there that are watching you, that you don't even have an idea that are out there watching you. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
And they're not always engaging with you. I had someone reach out to me and join my stuff who she was not engaging with me at all. She was in my group, she'd followed me, and I had never heard from her, and all of a sudden she's like, you're triggering the heck out of me. I need to join your program.
That is so funny.
Nice
I think that could be a whole new program, like how to trigger your perfect clients and get more sales. So this has been awesome. Thank you so much. Where can people find you? I know you had a free gift to get people more information from you because you have such amazing stuff.
Well, thank you. So it's I have my Create Your Sellout Offer training, which I think I sent to you. It's bit.ly/create sellout offer. Not sell out like you're selling out, sell out like you sell it out. Okay. Yeah. After I created it, I was like, ooh, whatever. But I already did all the graphics.
No,
and I was like,
you get it. It's like this. The offer sold out, and we're hearing many times all the time.
Yes, you are not a sellout. You're totally not a sellout. And you can also find me in my group, my Facebook group, Powerhouse Women Entrepreneurs. If you find me on Facebook, my name is pretty unique. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Yael Bendahan who's digital marketing strategist and business coach. So if you search for me on Facebook, with my name will find me, and you
Awesome.
can see my group there, and everything is there. So check out my profile and connect with me and let me know.
Fantastic. Yes. And we're going to put all the links below for everybody, so you can just click away and go connect. And thank you so much. And remember, everybody, just learn, you have to implement. So in order to get that rapid profit boost, like, get to work, 30 minutes.
Know what you're selling. Know what you're selling. Start just putting out that content. Think about the mini transformations you can create in people and go from there.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's so simple. All right. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did, but just watching these interviews are not going to get you the results that you want. In order to get that boost in profits, you need to take action and implement. So I want you to take a minute now, write down on your calendar what you're going to do, highlight in your notes the great action steps you identified, and put it on the calendar right now. Now, if you need some additional support in growing your business, then reach out to me for a free session at staceyhylen.com. We will help you add a zero to your business without the hustle. In the last 20 years, I have worked with business owners just starting their business at a zero, to people from 6 to 7 figures, people from 7 to 8 figures, even working with clients to go all the way from 6 figures, 8 figures in their business without the hustle. And that's a key component, because who wants to work 1,000,000 hours to make money and then have no life left? So if you would like some help with that, then go to staceyhylen.com and book a free session. No obligation, no pressure. We're going to help you figure out what are the next steps for you.